Top 5 cool things you didn't know about the Cybertruck. Starting off with design. The design of the Cybertruck has been slightly refreshed. Elon Musk says it will be about 3% smaller and it won't have door handles. So recently we've seen the Cybertruck in New York City, so we have all these new images and videos to show you. But this is the prototype model that they showed during the unveiling, and the reason why we know this is because you can actually see the sledgehammer, the hit of the sledgehammer, still on the Cybertruck. So we know that there's only one Cybertruck in existence, but nonetheless the Cybertruck should look pretty much the same as it is right now, with just slightly different proportions. During the unveiling event, Elon Musk specifically said,
"The functionality I'm going to describe is within a space that is less than the most popular pickup truck in the United States, the F-150. So we didn't cheat in either width, height, or length."
The Cybertruck will not be bigger than the F-150 in height, width, or length. This brings me on to the second point, the weight.
And we're able to achieve much greater capability in the same dimensions, same weight.
Elon Musk says the Cybertruck will not be heavier than the F-150. So the heaviest F-150 you can buy today is about 2,300 kilograms, or about 5,000 pounds. This would actually make the Cybertruck lighter than the Model X, their SUV. So how are they going to achieve this? Well, first of all, they're going to be doing gigacasting. Gigacasting reduces your parts by a lot. You can see that using the gigacast, you can actually reduce parts from 70 parts in a rear underbody to 1, and that will reduce your weight and your cost and tooling for everything. And that is one reason why the Cybertruck is so cheap as it is right now, even though it's electric. Another aspect to this weight savings is the new 4680 cell, which actually goes in the battery category, and I'm going to come back to that just a bit later. Cameras. The Cybertruck will feature a lot of cameras around its exterior, which will mean you could probably have a full 360 view like most other cars do today, because you're going to need help parking this thing because it's so massive. It has a camera at the front bumper where you need one for the 360-degree view, and if you pay attention to the rear license plate, you can actually see that there are 2 cameras there. One might be for the autopilot system and one might be for the rear view camera, or just something else. But in general, the camera spacing looks like it will actually provide a full 360-degree view where you can see everything maneuver around it. So now coming back to the battery, the Cybertruck will use 4680 batteries, the new ones that Tesla is actually developing, and because of that, this truck would actually weigh less. Current trucks have a body on a frame. They have a chassis that they actually bolt the frame onto. The Cybertruck would be a unibody. It would have a rear underbody, a front underbody, a battery pack in the middle joining those two, and then just the exoskeleton that would actually be the load-bearing shell. So what about the battery sizes? We don't actually know what the battery size would actually be for the Cybertruck, but we can predict. So I'm actually going to be using the numbers that this guy on YouTube actually did. He did all the hard work. He did all the mathematics of everything. You can go watch his video. His channel name is NXT Garage, and he's just done an absolute fabulous job describing the battery size, taking into almost everything into account. So the battery capacity that he chose for the on-road tires, which are not on the Cybertruck. The current Cybertruck, as you see, have those off-road tires. So with the on-road tires, the standard range model, the 250-mile range variant, should have about 84 kilowatt-hour battery pack. The dual motor long range, so the 300-mile range variant, should have about 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack to get that 300 miles of range. And then finally, the tri-motor 500-mile range Cybertruck will have a battery capacity of just about 168 kilowatt hours. I don't know about you, but that is impressive, because having that small of a battery pack to go 500 miles is very impressive, because I think the Rivian is doing the same thing, but they're using a 160 kilowatt hour battery pack to just go 400 miles. But this doesn't tell you the entire story. This is with on-road tires, so most likely maybe the Cybertruck might ship with on-road tires. So what if it ships with off-road tires and it needs to get the same range? So then we have nice round numbers to use. The standard range of the 250-mile variant would have about 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack. The dual motor 300-mile range variant would have a 120 kilowatt-hour battery pack. And then the tri-motor 500-mile range variant would use a 200 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Now this isn't that big of a deal because the Cybertruck, it just has more space to fit more cells, plus the 4680 cells have a higher energy density and they can be packaged closer together, which would actually give the Cybertruck just more energy density per pack. These numbers are really impressive. But what about the charging speed? Of course, charging this truck is going to take a really long time, especially if you use your normal 110 socket. So likely if you use a Cybertruck and drive it more than 5 miles a day, you would probably want to install a 240 volt socket. But for charging speed, I'm not talking about the low charging speeds in your house. I'm talking about supercharging speed. And this is a bit tricky because we don't have official numbers for it. And that's why I kept it for the last, because it's sort of speculation. But I do have something to show you. So in one of the earnings call with Tesla, someone was talking about the charging speed of the semi-truck, and something slipped out at that time that they said,
yeah, we continue the development of the semi, and in particular mega chargers. We realized that the 350 kilowatt or so that we might be looking for cars is not going to be enough for semi. So we're looking for something much more powerful than that.
So I don't know if I heard that correctly, but did I hear that 350 kilowatts was too slow for the semi-truck? Now, I know we're not talking about the semi-truck here, but future Tesla vehicles using the 4680 cells are actually going to be using 350 kilowatts of charging speed going forward. Currently, their max charging speed is 250 kilowatts on their V3 chargers. This would bring it up to 350 kilowatts. I don't know if they need to install new chargers, but I'm guessing the V3 chargers can actually supply up to 350 kilowatts, and they probably don't need to do much. And if they have to do anything, they can probably just do it on the back end where they have their substations and transformers and rectifiers and everything. Plus, with the structural battery pack, they actually integrated the cooling system with it, so it will actually wick away the heat really well. So it'll just mean that the cells can charge it faster for longer. So you might actually not notice a difference. It might actually be charging quicker than the Model 3. So that's been it. Let me know what was your favorite thing about this video. What did you like the most? And what were you actually surprised by? Because to be honest, I was surprised by the weight and battery size. I didn't expect the batteries to be that small, especially compared to what Rivian is saying they're going to put out. I did not expect this. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you in the next one.